Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Amazing Angus, and happy Halloween to everyone. That's right, it's Halloween once again, and as always, I'm going to be carving another pumpkin this year. But for this pumpkin, I'm going to be carving it into Gastly. So then, now I'm sure you guys might know all the tools you'll need if you've seen my last two videos, but if you haven't, go check those out. So without further ado, let's get started. So first thing you're going to do is take the picture of Gastly and stick it onto the pumpkin. You need to find a good place to it. Just a second, I might need to move it a little closer. You can see it from here. Yeah. Next, you're going to take the tape and stick the picture to the pumpkin for you to trace Gastly onto. So I'll just cut ahead and stick the picture on it. So once you guys have gotten the picture on, what you're going to do is you're going to take a black permanent marker and trace over Gastly onto the parts that you're going to carve out. So I'll just so I'll start with its eye, this eye right here. So you're going to want to do this to make sure that the permanent, because most of you will know that the permanent marker can actually go through the paper and onto whatever it's on the other side of it, if you know what I mean. So in order to carve the pumpkin, you need the permanent marker to go onto the pumpkin as well. So I'm just tracing over his eye. Okay, now I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna cut ahead and do the rest of this, and once I do that, we're gonna take this off and show you if it turned out alright. Alright guys, so I have traced over the picture of Gastly, so now we're gonna take this off and see how it turned out. Oh, look at that. That sure looks pretty good. So now we're onto the main event of this. It's time to carve it. Well, the first thing we're going to do is take a vegetable knife and we're going to cut the top off. But we need to be very careful because Gastly is pretty close to the top here, the top part of it. So just carefully make a circle around the top of the pumpkin. I'm pretty sure you all know that. Whatever, I'm telling you anyway. Yeah. Now let's get this top off. And come on. There we go. Whoop. Now once you guys have gotten the top off, what we need to do, of course, is clear out the inside of it. So I'm gonna cut ahead and clear the inside of the pumpkin out. So once you guys have cleared the inside of the pumpkin out, now you're up to the fun part of it. Now you get to carve out the face of the character. So let's get to it. So same thing, you're going to use the vegetable knife to carve the face of Gastly. So the first thing I'm going to do, which is also a reason why these would come in handy, so you can understand which parts to carve out. So first thing I'm going to carve out is his eyes. And I'd probably suggest you guys start with his eyes as well, because I'll tell you why in a minute. Now as for this part, I'm gonna save. Now, as for this part right here, I'm gonna save by using the letter knife that I use to carve smaller spaces. So I'll save that part for later. And there you guys go. You guys have carved an eye for Gastly. I'm just cutting out some of the insides of it, so it'll make it better to see. So once you guys have, so now I'm gonna use the letter knife to cut this little gap here. Just be very careful, guys. It could be tricky. And there we go. So that's one eye for Gastly. Now I'm going to do the same for his other eye. I'll just cut ahead and get to the next part. So there you go, guys. So now we've got both. So now we've carved both of Gastly's eyes. So the next thing I'm gonna do is carve out his mouth, which is right here. Now this part's gonna be a little tricky. So I think this part you'll have to be super careful for, because there's a lot of small gaps right here that you might accidentally cut. So let's do it. So now I'm gonna have to use the lead knife for this bit. Alright, so now we've carved out this mouth. So before I do that, I'll just... So now we're going to use the lead knife to carve in his fangs. So you guys know that Gastly has fangs. I kind of believe. Sometimes I think that Gastly is some kind of vampire Pokemon. Wouldn't you guys agree? Gastly sure doesn't. If you guys haven't seen the episode, The Ghost of Maiden's Peak, check that episode out. Because I remember watching that episode and Misty had a few things that vampires are weaker against, and then Gastly's all like, "Oh, what do I look like, a vampire or something?" Well, I sure would agree. So there we have his mouth done. We have also got one of his fangs. Now I'm gonna do his other fang, which is right here. My back's getting a little sore. And there you guys go. We've got both of Gastly's fangs and his mouth right there. So now that all that's left to do is the gas around it. So I'm just gonna cut ahead. So I've managed to cut off a bit of his jaw right there, which is pretty risky, so you might want to use the letter knife right here. And I've also done a bit of the outer bit, so I'm gonna carve. So I'm actually gonna cut so I'm gonna cut the gas out piece by piece, so I wouldn't recommend doing the whole lot, because that's one thing that could risk taking the head of Gastly off the pumpkin. So keep that in mind, everyone. And another reason I was going to tell you is that, which is why Which is also another reason why I suggest you do the eyes and the mouth first, because that would also be risky to... you might risk breaking Gastly's head off, so keep that in mind. So I'm just going to cut the rest of the sauce and show you the results. So there we have it, guys. We have carved all of Gastly. So now we're going to... So now, you know, the next thing we're going to do is to cut the bottom off to put a miniature candle inside. So I'm just going to cut the bottom off and then we'll get to the best part. Okay guys, so now I've carved the bottom out. Now, so next thing we're going to do is get a miniature candle and light this thing up. In fact, I actually forgot some matches, so I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, so I just got the matches out. So now we're going to light a miniature candle and place it under the pumpkin. So let's light this thing up. Hold on. There we go. So I got my miniature candle ready. Now let's put this under the pumpkin and see how this turns out. And we'll put the top back on. Hopefully it doesn't. Uh-oh. There we are. And there you guys have it. We have carved Gastly into a pumpkin. So now we're going to turn out the lights and see how this looks in the dark. Wow. This looks incredible. Alright everybody, and so that was how to carve Gastly into a pumpkin. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, favorite, and comment. And as always, happy Halloween, everybody. This is Amazing Angus saying, see you then, guys.